Hello all. I don't know when you're going to be watching this, but happy May the 4th, because that's when I videoed it. Today we're just going to be talking about something that I've been thinking about for years, just a couple of very quick thoughts on a subject that is very complex. So today we're going to be talking about pride or being proud. So as we read through the Bible, we often read about pride, proud people, proud actions, whether or not being proud is actually mentioned in the verse. In life, we might realize that some people around us might be proud, and sometimes, unfortunately, we might realize that we ourselves are proud, which is tough because it entails a lot of hard work to deal with that. So for years I've struggled with being very proud from a very, very young age. In some cultures or societies it's ingrained into you, and in my heritage it very much is, which is tough. It's a very hard journey because pride seems to creep in every time I turn around, and it's very nuanced in how it creeps into my thinking and my actions and my words, and so it's something I have to strive towards recognizing and dealing with, and it's something that I have a lot of progress to do yet, something that will be part of my journey, I think, for the rest of my life. Just a couple of thoughts on it. Firstly, about 21 words in Greek and Hebrew can be translated as pride or proud, and then most of them are in a very negative context, speaking of people and actions that aren't good, people doing things that are wrong, or God bringing down people who are proud, showing that he doesn't really enjoy that or think highly of proud people. Words in Hebrew and Greek that are defined in English are defined in English generally as being translated as pride, arrogance, conceit, haughty, worthless, meaningless, vain, false high hope, to cause, to become vain. We come into it, it's all over the Bible. I just have three verses here. Job 25-7. The mirth of the wicked is brief. The joy of the godless lasts but a moment. Though the pride of a godless person reaches to the heavens and his head touches the clouds, he will perish forever like his own dung. Those who have seen him will say, where is he? Proverbs 14:3. A fool's mouth lashes out with pride, but the lips of the wise protect them. Proverbs 16 verse 18. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Definitely something to keep in mind all the time. On the other hand of the spectrum, we have words that are associated with pride, but on the other hand, they're in a very positive sense, and those are words linked with praising God and the things he's done. In English, they're generally translated as majesty, glory, triumph, to raise up, to honor, the splendor of God, God on high. Examples of this include Psalm 71:8. My mouth is filled with your praise, declaring your splendor all day long. Psalm 96:7. Ascribe to the Lord, all you families of nations. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. So on one hand we see that we should avoid being proud of ourselves in and of ourselves, or proud of very human earthly things. And on the other side, you can see that being proud of God and his perfection, his purity, his glory, his honor is something that we should think about and honor, and maybe even talk about a little bit more, if you're me, because I don't talk about it enough. We should think about those things. So now, in context of this and other things as well, what are some things that we could, what are some guidelines maybe we could use to guide our journey towards wisdom? As we read through something like Proverbs, it'll talk about pride and wisdom being on opposite ends of the spectrum, maybe, kind of. And so I have three little outtakes from the Bible here that I use to kind of guide my thinking mostly. Romans 12:3. For by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you. Sober judgment. Philippians 2 verse 3. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself. It's important to consider that and keep that in your mind in conversations and in interactions. And I find that helpful. The last one is 1 Corinthians 13, verses 1 to 7. If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. I feel like these three verses, if used in context of many life decisions and life values, they can really point you in the right direction. In a lot of my life, I've seen a lot of people who forget these foundational truths, and thankfully I don't see it very often. But when I was very young, I saw it, and as believers, these really point us in the right direction in knowing whether or not we're on solid ground. Are we putting others before ourselves? Are we thinking of others more highly than ourselves? Are we filled with love? Is our love patient? Are we filled with patience? It's a good groundwork for developing both humility and, I believe, a lot of other things as well. With all those things in mind, I leave you with this, that we should become better servants, and we should strive to be more humble. Our Lord and Savior, creator of heaven and earth, came down, and before he laid his life down on the cross, he humbled himself and did simple things like washing the feet of the disciples. In the context of that society, you're washing stinky sandal feet, which probably weren't all that pleasant, and the water probably wasn't all that clean. Can we bring ourselves to do similar things to help others, maybe in ways we haven't even thought of yet? Are we willing to humble ourselves to do the things that need to be done, whether or not they bring accolades? So that's my thought for today. I'm sorry if I rambled a little bit, but you guys take care. God bless, stay safe, and I'll see you around. Adios.